Welcome back to our channel, where you're guaranteed to get authentic and up-to-date information about Bitcoin and all other cryptocurrencies. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your post notifications. You don't want to miss any of our posts. And if you like this video, which I'm sure you will, kindly click on the thumbs up button and leave a comment in the comment section below. We'll be glad to answer any of your questions and clear any doubts you may have. Today we'll be discussing the top 10 richest Bitcoin owners, and I'll also give you an idea of how much Bitcoin you should own. Before I dive into telling you about the top owners of Bitcoin and how much you should own or aspire to own, I want to briefly brush up our knowledge about Bitcoin, including recent news and recent price updates. If it's your first time on this channel, I'm trying to ensure that this information is still very useful to you and for our regulars. Bitcoin was invented in 2008 by a person or group of people that still remain anonymous to us up until today. Since its inception, Bitcoin has enjoyed many ups and downs in value, and most recently, just in December, it crossed a new record of $20,000. That was not the end, as it managed to get up to $42,000, and just recently we're having some bearish movements. To think that Bitcoin was just a few cents when it first started, and when compared to its current value, it's simply amazing what potential this asset has. It makes you wonder how much Bitcoin is in some people's possession, and who the early buyers are who bought it when it was still low in value. One would also wonder if these early adopters are still in possession of Bitcoin. Well, we're about to find out, since this is why I'm making this video. But let me tell you a very popular story that happened in 2010, when a hungry man bought 2 pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoins. Yeah, you heard me right, a whopping 10,000 Bitcoins. We can't blame him, those were barely worth $100 around that time. But now, they're valued in hundreds of millions. It's an amusing story, isn't it? Many people have heard this story a couple of times, and a lot of people have reacted to the story in different ways. Well, that doesn't change anything. What can change now is that you can also own Bitcoin, and of course as much as you want. So let me tell you about the top Bitcoin owners and how much Bitcoin they're estimated to have in their possession. The first person is Satoshi Nakamoto. You can recall that in the beginning of this video, I told you about the anonymous founder of Bitcoin. Satoshi Nakamoto is the name the creators of Bitcoin operate with. And like I said, for emphasis, we don't know if it's a single person or a group of people. So they are, of course, the richest Bitcoin owners in the world. According to documents of Satoshi's early mining, they'd have an estimate of about 1.1 million Bitcoins. Today, one Bitcoin is above $30,000 in current price, which estimates the worth to about $30 billion. However, Satoshi Nakamoto has never used Bitcoins or exchanged them into any currency. I know you're curious about who could be behind the name. That still remains a mystery. But if we find out anything, you'll be the first to know on this channel. There are claims that Satoshi Nakamoto is Japanese and was born in 1975. Many media outlets have linked different people to this name, but without concrete proof, and some of those linked have also publicly denied being Satoshi. What we're sure of is that Satoshi sent an email to Mike Hearn, who was then the Bitcoin core developer. He wrote in this email that he's moved on to other things, and that Bitcoin's future is in capable hands. Then nothing more was heard from him until recently, when news came out that 40 Bitcoin has been transferred from an account that has been idle since 2009, and all indications show that these Bitcoins were mined during the first month of Bitcoin's appearance on the market. And maybe Satoshi Nakamoto is back after all. I'll stay connected to our channel, and we promise to keep you informed. The second richest Bitcoin owner is not an individual, but a country, Bulgaria. Bulgaria currently owns a large volume of Bitcoins. How did a country become so rich in Bitcoin? Take a guess. Well, the Bulgarian government came into possession of this large Bitcoin asset when its law enforcement agencies chased down an organized crime cell consisting of international groups of hackers and seized 213,519 Bitcoin in this operation. That amount of Bitcoin is a huge fortune. It's capable of covering a significant part of the country's GDP, or even pay off some of the country's debt. This happened in 2017, and with the current price of Bitcoin, those coins are now worth billions of dollars. The third highest owner of Bitcoin is Bitfinex. Bitfinex has over 163,000 Bitcoins in its wallets. The company is also one of the largest Bitcoin wallets in the world. Those Bitcoins are kept in a cold wallet to protect them from cyber attacks. The FBI is the fourth highest owner of Bitcoin. Yep, you heard me right. The Federal Bureau of Investigation sometime in 2013 took down a notorious dark web drug bazaar called Silk Road and seized 144,000 Bitcoins that belonged to the operators of the website. The website is rumored to have seen more than 9 million Bitcoins transacted on it since its start in 2011. The FBI, however, has sold a lot of the Bitcoins in their possession, but they're obviously still worthy of mention. Most of those Bitcoins were sold to Barry Silbert. The Winklevoss Twins are a force to be reckoned with in Bitcoin and crypto space, and so they're number 5 on our list. They're famous for a legal dispute with Facebook owner Zuckerberg, where they received $65 million in compensation. The Winklevoss Twins purchased 1.5 million bitcoins with $11 million back in 2013, when one bitcoin exchanged for $120. Now do the math with the current price of bitcoin. The twins are alleged to own 1% of the bitcoin in circulation on the market. They've since then been active in the crypto space and have invested a lot. The twin brothers are credited for founding Windex. They also started Gemini, a regulated exchange for cryptocurrencies, and as a matter of fact, it is the first of its kind. Other notable things are that they funded and invested in many Bitcoin-related companies, such as BitInstant. They are committed to making the crypto system conducive enough to attract institutional investors. Number 6 on the list is Gavin Anderson. Gavin Anderson is one of the starters of Bitcoin, and is even believed to be the creator, although it was Satoshi Nakamoto's idea. And many times he's been suspected to be Satoshi, but he denied it, insisting that he only had a friendship with the anonymous Satoshi Nakamoto, who chose him as his successor. Gavin became the lead developer of the open source code that Bitcoin runs on. The 7th person is RogerWahl. This man has been nicknamed Bitcoin Jesus. It's estimated that he owns about 100,000 Bitcoins and was among the first Bitcoin billionaires. Roger dropped out of college to focus on his Bitcoin projects. Other notable things about Bitcoin Jesus is the dream of establishing his own liberal country. He renounced his American citizenship in 2014 and moved to a small Caribbean island. Barry Silbert is one of the early adopters of Bitcoin. He's also a strong believer in Bitcoin and its prospect. In 2014, it was alleged that he won 48,000 Bitcoins at an auction by the U.S. Federal Agency for Law Enforcement. He is the founder and chief executive officer of a digital currency group. Barry's company has just recently acquired CoinDesk, a leading Bitcoin news source, which is also the host of an annual Bitcoin industry conference. The company is also the world's leading firm for investing in Bitcoin-related companies. This is why Barry is nicknamed the King of Crypto. Silbert is also the owner of Genesis and Grayscale, which are both focused on digital currencies. Charlie Shrem is the next big person to be discussed. Just like many people on this list, he's one of the early investors of Bitcoin and has invested a lot. He's also an active member of the Bitcoin Foundation. The amount of Bitcoin he has is not known, but what is sure is that he's bought thousands of Bitcoin when they were worth a few $100s. Number 10 is Tony Gallippi, who is also one of the highest Bitcoin holders. He's behind BitPay, which is one of the most popular Bitcoin payment service providers in the world. Then there is you, the next Bitcoin billionaire. Don't worry if you don't own as much as any of these people mentioned just yet. The truth is, you too can own just as much. Also, rest assured that there is nothing like owning too little or too much Bitcoin. As you've seen, some people have owned Bitcoin when it was not even worth much, and now just one Bitcoin is worth more than $30,000. Who knows how much it'll be worth tomorrow or in some years to come. So definitely it's a good thing to invest in Bitcoin with as much as you can spare from your savings. We have other videos on the channel that can help you decide on when to invest and help you understand the Bitcoin trend. It's also important to tell you that there is no limit to how much Bitcoin you can own, and that there are legit ways you can increase the number of Bitcoin you have. One of those ways is by trading on reputable exchanges. Trading requires some level of expertise, patience, and discipline, as you need to do some technical analysis as well as consider current news before you predict Bitcoin's movement. Don't worry, you'll find many videos on this channel that'll help you with this. Also, I would like to warn you that there are risks attached as Bitcoin is very volatile. As much as you want to own a lot of Bitcoins, it's not good practice to take loans to buy Bitcoins or buy Bitcoin with credit cards. One can run into debts, and I really don't want that to happen to you. One last thing is do not fall for scams and schemes that seem too good to be true. They are the fastest way to lose one's Bitcoins completely. Alright, to be completely true to my promise, I'll advise you to buy Bitcoin with about 30% of your savings, depending on what the savings are intended for. But still, let me put it this way, you should have savings put aside specifically for investment. Then you can use as much of it as you deem fit for Bitcoin investment. Also, you should probably note when the best time to buy is, but generally, there does not seem to be a bad time to buy Bitcoin, at least not for now. We still have projections for higher prices, but you should also do your analysis, and for profit maximization, you should target the best time to buy. So I hope you'll be able to gather as much Bitcoin as you want, and who knows, I might make a video about you and how much Bitcoins you own someday. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. We have amazing content about Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Also turn on your post notifications so that you get notifications as soon as we post a new video. See you next time.